Hi, I'm Cherie, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I'm running because I love our city. I have the experience and dedication to make a difference here. I believe our government should listen to and work for its people. I will be focusing on our community, our environment, and I will always be an advocate for transparency. On April 21st, vote for me, Cherie. My name is Cherie, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I approve this advertisement.
Hello, hello, good evening. I'm so excited to be here this evening with you. Cherie Krim. I have been running Baycast now for 19 episodes, and the questions keep coming and the views keep going up. So I wanted to start today with an amazing video that I did, and I did play it last time too, but I want to be clear here that there shouldn't be anybody who doesn't know what I stand for. So quickly, I am going to go ahead and I am going to play this video for you of what I said to both George Gaynor and Jay Trumbull at the beginning of the year.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much for actually saying that correctly. Cherie Krim, I have met both of Jay and George before, and I'm a member of many organizations and nonprofits here in town, as well as I own my own business. I believe that Bay County is one of the most beautiful places to live, and I know our community wants the freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe. Yet, we have some major obstacles here in our community for many people. One, we have already talked about the housing issue, but our housing situation is a disaster, as you are aware. Look at how slow it's gone to replace our lower income housing. And let's be clear, $200,000 is not an affordable house for a lot of people here in Bay County. Now, so our community is comprised of many diverse people, yet many people are never heard here. And that's where it's time that we actually work together to create a community that works for all of us. Our community is changing, and we must lead with kindness and inclusivity. So let's talk about January now. January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and I think you all got this in your report. Northwest Florida is #1 in Florida for child trafficking. This is a fact. In the report you can see we had 282 in 2020. That's on page 5. Now the kicker here is our area may be #1, but we also have no available safe house, no safe foster home, or any other residential program for these victims here. This should worry all of us since we are the largest in the state. There's a big red flag here. We've got to work on this together, okay? And this leads into the other issues related to trafficking here. As you've had many prominent people this year trying to get sex from minors. Let's not forget about the 6 massage parlors we just had shut down. Why aren't you saying anything about these issues? Why aren't you saying, hey, real men don't try to sleep with underage girls. Real men don't go to massage parlors for sexual acts. Speaking of underage girls, here in the state of Florida, you have made it illegal to get an abortion without parental consent if you are under 18. This is absurd. This shows how you want to control a woman's body from a young age. This should surprise no one since we do not have the Equal Rights Amendment passed here in Florida. Now, when it comes to abortion, politicians should not interfere with a woman's right to make her own choices about her health. These decisions should stay between a woman and her doctor. Politicians are using their religious beliefs to decide what a woman can do with her body, and that includes you. Here in Florida, you voted for My Body, My Choice, did you not? Does that only include men? Because women deserve their own bodily autonomy. This session, there's going to be an abortion bill coming up where you will be voting on taking away a woman's right to choose what to do with her body. You can't have it both ways, gentlemen. Do we have individual freedom here in the state of Florida? Is it really my body, my choice? Or is it my body, my choice, unless you're a woman, and then you get to decide what I get to do with my body? Thank you.
Yeah. So what did those men do? Of course, they voted to take away my bodily autonomy. And in fact, They decided that it was not even worth it to put in a clause for incest, rape, or human trafficking. Why do our politicians want to do this to us women? Do they not care about what type of trauma? No. The issue is that they're adult bullies and they enjoy their power. So I've been sitting here. Adult bullies like to belittle people so that they can feed their own ego. And we have a lot of bullying going on in Bay County. I think a lot of us realize that. Now, I want to clearly say it's not hard to see what happens when bullies say something, right? You can always figure out what is going on. So I just want to share with you some bullying that's going on here in Bay County. And, well, how did the community respond? So I love this. I'm so excited to share. It's always fun to get in here and start sharing my screen in the Chrome tabs. And I want to say, nope, that's not the right one. We're going to go with this one first. Hello. Everybody see? All right. So we have, thank you, Governor DeSantis, for keeping this out of Florida schools. Really? That's a little much. But of course, we have to have that hate. So let's read the comments as we go down. I don't agree with this. I don't care how the teacher looks, but I care what they would teach my kids, and that's not okay. I'm a Republican-ish. This comment is very one-sided. For one, who cares how this person has their hair cut? It makes no difference at all. Republicans are heavily based in the Constitution. The rights we have are sacred. I can only assume that people are taking offense to the BLM flag. I don't support BLM, but I do support rights. You can keep reading more because it gets better. You do not, I love this, the response here. You do not have a constitutional right to want BLM flags in elementary school. Wow. Okay. Watching this right here, this is great. Your understanding of the Constitution is incorrect, and this has nothing to do with Texas v. Johnson. First Amendment rights don't apply in classrooms, which is why you can't play porn in schools. Can I put a Confederate flag in my classroom? That was an official battle flag. We had many. Is that okay if I put one up? But you can still keep going down here, and you can see. Bay County Republican Party. I am a conservative Republican, but your post yesterday and today are going to cause people to not join our party. Our governor has class. He doesn't use pictures like this to make his points on education. His office post law, oh, here you go. And then this is the answer, right? They're saying Governor DeSantis has class. The governor's staff has used these sorts of photos to illustrate the purpose of his legislation. The prior photo was specifically shared by his press secretary. Parents need to know what's going on in our school system. We don't share private information. I mean, this is just, honestly, we could keep looking at that, but it's the point. Why even share that? What was the point? To bully. So funny to think about that. There was another post, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share. First, I'm going to share the one that's still up, and then we're going to go backwards, and I'm going to share what was originally up because they changed it. And all right, so this is the one we're going to take that one down. All right, and now I'm going to share the other screen right there. Here we go. This was on May 16th. Well, they had the post before then. And so it's kind of funny. So they did have this post. I'm like, pick which way. I love it. Screen. They had this post on before, but they deleted it. I had captured a couple screenshots. So we'll look at that in a moment. But let's go ahead and see how this bullying is working. All right. Your average Democrat activist cares more about defending the right of transgender teachers to demand that they, them pronouns from preschool students than they are about baby formula shortages. What? And crushing inflation? Do we realize Neil Dunn voted against helping with the baby formula shortage this week? Oh, we got to come back to that. All right. So imagine how much indoctrination it takes to be disconnected from reality. This is why a diverse coalition of Americans are leaving their party every day. That's why we're thankful for Governor DeSantis. Oh, wow, y'all. Here we go. So much of the party of small government. DeSantis wants total control over every aspect of your life and the ability to indoctrinate all future generations. His claim of protections is your loss in freedom. And see, here you go. And then that's a press release. I'm emailing this post to the governor. Then you can explain how you're going to cause him to lose the panhandle. It doesn't require a lot to have respect, honor, and integrity and be better than petty people bring hate misinformation. This was a stolen Twitter picture and you have zero idea if it's fake, teacher, or not. And even if it is, it's petty to post. Be better, signed, a lifelong Democrat. And then the answer is, there's no hate or misinformation here, and thinking there is why conservatives are losing this country before Trump. If the Republican Party cares more about tax cuts than trans ideology in schools, we're not going to conserve anything. We could just keep going. I mean, these are most relevant. Let me go to all comments. Because better photos to educate. Oh my goodness. Post with class. So, to be clear, that was the second post. They originally had it, I want to say I took the screenshots on May 15th and it said 4 days before that, but I had just taken a couple screenshots. So I want to show what the comments were before they deleted that post. Because, well, you know, transparency and all. I think I've mentioned that a few times, community, environment, and transparency. So let's share the deleted one. Can everybody see? All right. Thank you, Governor Ron DeSantis, for keeping this out of Florida schools. This is what their original post had. Thank you for keeping this. Dehumanizing? Quite. All right. As you scroll down. I support them. Diversity is welcome. Thank God his or her mother chose life. This is a pretty unnecessary post. Come on. We have to be better than this. Well, I went and pulled under Amy. I support them. You know, there's another copy. But Bay County Republican Party, Rick, it is quite necessarily to stand up to those preying on our children. People need to know what's going on in preschools to recognize how fortunate we are to have Governor DeSantis. I absolutely agree with what our government, here we go. I absolutely agree with what our government has done, but I think you're possibly making some pretty crappy judgments about the individual in the pic. Let them be them. I'm fine with all of that. I don't think anyone needs to teach my 5-year-old. And then here we go. I think your post does more harm than good, therefore unnecessary. The post above isn't some random man pretending to be a woman. It's about a man pretending to be a woman in a preschool classroom and using their position as a teacher to normalize transgenderism. We can't let them be them. Normalize transgenderism? Really? Dog whistle, maybe? I think that book's back here somewhere. But really, I don't understand why we have to have such disgusting hate on this, but such is how it goes. All right. We can't let them be them if they're being them at the expense of the children. some context to go along with the random pic you shared would be a good idea. I still think this post was not helpful in any way, just giving folks in the middle to get mad at conservatives. The picture provides its own context. They are bragging about using their position as a preschool teacher to manipulate their students. If you actually click on the picture, there you go. How do I know it's a pre-K teacher? I'm just curious. I too support what Governor Sanders has done, but why single out this individual? Forgive me, didn't realize the entire story. I still think this post is unnecessary. And then I agree with you. Stuff like this is why I'm changing to an independent. And then going down this path, this is an example of what is going on in American preschools and that. So, yeah. Why was that deleted? Maybe because they didn't like how the conversation was going. But as you can see, and I really find it interesting how many people in Bay County are standing up now and going, hey, why are you trying to hurt my friend who's LGBTQ? Hey, I'm a woman. Why are you trying to take away my rights? See, we're thinking about these things, and Bay County is changing. So, adult bullies. That's how bullying works. It goes out there and you put all of this misinformation. Now, what was the point at all in putting those pictures up? To be a bully, period. So, adult bullies are most interested in domination and power. Let's be clear about that. They want to show that they're superior, and they're doing this by making fun of other people. Making fun of other people only shows who you are. It doesn't really show who the other people are. Now you will see, I didn't make any comments, and I don't normally comment back on any of those type of hateful things because the fight will ensue and I know what will happen because I'm always called a name and called stupid or whatever word you want to use for me that day. But it's not me. It is our community standing up going, hey y'all, we don't like this. So, did you know that there's actually different types of bullies? And I thought I would do this education here. In my book, I actually wrote about bullies, a whole section about adult bullies, because they're everywhere. Corporate America, politics, your hometown, everywhere. So I had to look it up and I had to learn more. So did you know, I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to go through about a few of them here. The narcissistic adult bully. Let me know if this sounds like anybody you know. Self-centered, no empathy, little anxiety about consequences. He or she or they seem to feel good about themselves and has a brittle narcissism that requires putting others down. The impulsive adult bully. More spontaneous and does not plan their bullying. They have a hard time restraining their behavior, and in some cases, it can be unintentional. The physical bully. Adults rarely turn to physical confrontation. They use the threat of harm or physical domination. They may damage or steal a victim's property rather than physically confronting them. Then you have the verbal adult bully. Starts rumors or uses sarcastic or demeaning language to dominate or humiliate another person. This subtle type of bullying also has its advantage to the bully of being difficult to document. The emotional and psychological impacts of verbal bullying can be felt quite keenly and can result in reduced job performance and even depression. The secondary adult bully. This is someone who does not initiate the bully, but joins in so that he or she cannot become a victim. They feel bad, but they want to protect themselves. You know, I had to write down a statement here because being bullied is no fun. And it's funny when it comes from people who literally have Facebook pages saying they don't allow bullying, but yet they do bullying. All right. I believe with 100% that every person deserves the freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe. Every single person. I don't care what political party you are in. I don't care what gender, what sexual orientation, what religion. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I believe everybody deserves that. I believe that discrimination hate, fear, and greed have been running our lives and has spent too much time running everything. Because what's the point? Why do they want to keep us in the us versus them, the right versus the wrong? They want to keep people battling. And people are starting to see how this is working. We can have a community that works for all of us. It doesn't have to only work for some. But the way that it has been set up, it's not set up that way. But it can be, and we can make those changes. You know, when you have somebody telling you, look at this person and making a judgment, that tells you a lot about that person. And they want you to think that all outsiders are bad. And if that person isn't exactly the same as you, that maybe they're evil. You're really intolerant to differences, and you must have an enemy, whoever that enemy may be. And of course, any alternate idea is wrong. But why? Why do bullies feel that way, right? So I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be this way. And I've said this, we don't have to be this way. Any politician, and I will repeat that loud again, any politician that wants to control what a woman can do with her own body, forcing her to give birth, even under incest, rape, and trafficking, is that a good person? What values does that really show you about that person? If that person wants to force another person to do something that person doesn't want to do. And here's the thing. Why does everybody think a pregnancy has to do with them? It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with whoever that circle, right? The person who's pregnant, the doctor, that's what matters. So what are your values? I want us all to think about that going forward. I lead with kindness every day, but I want to be clear on this. Because I lead with kindness does not mean that I'm not going to call out the hate, the fear, the discrimination, and the lies. You see, and that doesn't make me a bully. That makes me transparent. It shows what is going on. I'm not going to sit here and belittle somebody because they have different views than me. But I am going to say I disagree with your views. But what happens when the politicians go, well, I don't really care about what you think. I'm going to do what I think. And that's where we are right now with all of this whole, honestly, you're either pro-woman or you're a forced birther, right? Are you pro-woman or are you a forced birther? And I said that out loud and I don't care. Go ahead if you want to take that clip. Are you pro-woman or forced birther? Because it matters. It is time for us to take a stand, and we can lead by kindness and we can be better here. So with that being said, Neil Dunn didn't have a video this week, so I don't have a video to share. Neil Dunn, I really do want to make sure that everybody is still aware that Neil Dunn still has not recognized Jonathan Walker. And I discussed this before. And I keep finding it interesting. Why is he not? Please tell me. If you care about our community, he is a gem of our community. Why don't you want to highlight him? But there was a random, in his vitamin D craziness, there was a random post about a Tallahassee chef. That chef didn't even know that they were being put into that because I contacted them. Kind of interesting how that works, huh? So Neil Dunn voted against $35 insulin. That was HR 6833. You can look that up. He voted against $35 insulin for you. Yes, he did. That's our congressman. And you want to know what else he voted no on this week? He voted no on HR 7790, which was the Infant Formula Supplement Appropriations Act. Why would you vote against it, Dr. Dunn? Why? Why, Dr. Dunn, do you not want us to have baby formula here in Bay County? Why, Dr. Dunn? First, you voted against $35 insulin. I guess you want to keep us poor here in Bay County, and I guess you don't really? You're not really pro-life because you voted against it? I don't know. I just want to point it out. He voted against it. Watch what they do, because they're not doing what they're saying they're going to do for you. Neil Dunn's not helping us. Who wants to run against him? I will help you do it. The same thing, anybody who wants to run, I'm here to help you because we need some good people here. Oh goodness, this is a good one. I'm excited. So no video of Neil Dunn, but there was an amazing, and I see there's a couple people watching right now. There was an amazing op-ed in the Sunday paper in rebuttal to the hate op-ed that was in the one before. So I'm going to share with you. It is such an amazing op-ed that, and you know, me and the Panama City Herald always does some random things when I go to share. So you guys will see here on the screen, Bay County children need real solutions to real problems. So let's read through this. Thank you, Matt Bays, who wrote this op-ed. It is out there for everyone to read. It's in the Sunday paper. All right, Bay County children need real solutions to real problems. Recently, the Republican Party of Bay County's Tho Bishop attempted to gin up. Let me see, can I make this bigger? Print share, that full page. There we go. Recently, the Republican Party of Bay County's Tho Bishop attempted to gin up a crisis of transgenderism and rampant sexually explicit material in Bay County schools. His proof that these are serious issues, not stories from actual Bay County parents, but a random Twitter account and his own speech at a coffee talk, which largely cites the random Twitter account. The fact is, prior to the Don't Say Gay bill, there was and always has been a review process for school books for age appropriateness and sexually explicit material. If a book falls through the cracks and lands on a library shelf, there was already a process to get the book removed if there was a complaint. I am a parent of 2 elementary school age children in Bay District schools. I, of course, would be outraged if a teacher was reading a graphic book such as the one he frets about to my elementary age children. Every parent would, Democrats or Republicans. If it did, it would be national news, and the teacher, of course, would be immediately fired. The fact that you can't find it and Mr. Bishop doesn't actually present a case shows it's not happening. If Mr. Bishop actually talked to parents of Bay District school students, nightmare fantasies such as his are not what's keeping parents like myself up at night. Wow, Matt, really? Wow. It's not happening here? Some random Twitter account? I mentioned that Twitter account, and it's kind of funny, right? Because that Twitter account, the person who was running it got caught because they were anonymous and they didn't want their name out there. But guess what? You can't run crappy things making fun of people and people not find out who you are. So anonymity, well, you're going to be crappy. People are going to find out who you are. All right. So we're going to keep going. All right, what keeps me up at night is the district's staffing issues. It took 6 months to get my youngest into speech therapy he needs for his high-frequency hearing loss. Apparently, our district has been struggling to hire sufficient special needs personnel. The staff shortages and their effects were the single most discussed concern raised by the community members. Let's go back to text. All right, by community members. At a town hall Bay County Democrats hosted on young people and students last November, the shortages are exacerbated by the fact that the county cannot pay competitive wages for our hardworking teachers and staff. Bay County Republicans have actively made this worse by opposing increased funding for teachers' pay last year. If Mr. Bishop actually talked to Bay County parents, he'd know the last thing we want for them is to be distracted reviewing library books instead of teaching our children and getting them the support they need. What keeps me up at night is the fact that in some Florida counties, very similar to Bay, exemptions from standard student vaccines, such as for measles, have increased nearly tenfold in the last year due to the Republican war on vaccines. Bills that Republicans have passed in Florida legislature will make vaccine requirements even weaker in the future, making the risk of an outbreak of one of these diseases in our schools more likely in the years to come. What keeps me up at night is knowing a family friend who stopped going to prenatal checkups because she could not afford the visits, because Florida Republicans have refused to expand Medicaid. She will not have affordable health insurance until after the child is born. I'd suggest fellow Bay County parents do a thought experiment. Ask yourself, do you personally know an elementary schooler who's been read an excerpt from Genderqueer by a teacher or forced into a gender reassignment surgery? Or have you been frustrated by the teaching staffage shortages within the county, worried about your child getting sick, or know someone struggling to afford medical care? If the former, feel free to support the party, worried about what's only found on TikTok. If the latter, Democrats are fighting for you. I want to thank you, Matt Bays, for putting that out there and putting some truth out in Bay County. Now, the Medicaid situation, and I haven't publicly said this, I had a friend die. And she died because, well, her insurance wasn't there. She had it, and then she didn't have it. And then all of a sudden, she didn't have medication. And then all of a sudden, she's no longer here with us. I remember discussing healthcare on the TV station when I was debating the chair of the Republican Party. And I mentioned that Floridians wanted healthcare and that we want everybody to be healthy here in this state. And the answer I got back was, we don't want to pay for other people's healthcare. Do we realize other countries, people don't go bankrupt to pay for their health care. People aren't fighting to get a crappy job so they can get health care. They have health care because they live there. It's called universal health care. And it's something that actually would not be more expensive. But we like to have our greed here in our society, and the greed is what we have. So I really want us to think about this, because what does matter here in Bay County in our community? You know, I mentioned it, child trafficking, right? We also have crime issues. We have opioid issues. We have child abuse issues. We have poverty issues. There's a lot of things that we can work on, or we can share random things from Twitter accounts and make fun of people. I'm in the party of helping people and trying to make our community better. So I really appreciate anybody who wants to come along, because our community is amazing, and working together, we are amazing and we are kind to each other. And that's why Bay County is great, and it will continue to be great. And the hate that is going on right now, people are seeing through it. It's time. We're tired of this, so tired, because we all just want to live here and get along. Why do we have to have the us versus them? We don't. All right. Op-ed and Sunday paper. Oh, yes, I do need to also share. This is amazing. Let me get rid of that. It was on a couple of different news stations as well. You guys can go find this. But there was a rally for reproductive freedom march held on the Hathaway Bridge. And so there's some pictures here of this. Now, I will tell you, I was not there. I was not at this event. This was actually not my event. And this was not my event. This was an event by other people in Bay County. And I want to be clear, at this event, there were people from all political parties, because it does matter, and women don't want their bodily autonomy taken away. So honestly, you guys, it was an amazing rally. You guys can go look. There's articles out there. Over there on this picture to the right, that is a picture of the wrong way. I always try to do this the wrong way. The lady on, let's see, I can't make it work from this way. The lady with the clipboards in her hand, that is Dr. Carolyn Zonia. She is running against George Gaynor. She was at the rally to show that women's rights are important to her, because she is pro-woman. She is not a forced birther. But the men here running we have a few forced birthers. So we also have, keep going down, mothers and their daughters came out. There were men there. There were young people. There were older people. There were so many amazing people. And I want to thank everybody who came out because it does matter. And yeah, why are we here? Roe versus Wade was settled before I was born. Why are we having to fight for this? Oh, I know. Somebody wants a culture war. And we're afraid of change. And well, we're here yet again. So thank you, Bay County, for having an amazing reproductive freedom rally. And thank you for being pro-woman. Also, this, like I said, it was not a partisan issue. This is a human rights issue. And did you know other countries don't try to do this to their women? Did you know that? And in fact, this religious thing that is going on, right? Because it's religion who's telling us that we have to control a woman's body. You know, Jewish people don't believe that, right? Judaism? Yeah, that's not that way. All right, let's look at who's running in financials as we always do here at the end. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pull up local candidates. And honestly, I don't think anything has changed. Let's go. Current candidates and finances. We're going to go down here. We got the general election. All right, go. We got general election. There we go. All right. So District 2, Robert Carroll. We have Doug Moore, who's running District 4. We have Bay County Judge William Dyer. For School Board District 2, Ann Leonard and Francis Key Jordan. As we've discussed before, Brenda Ruthin dropped out. Christopher Moore for School Board, Steve Moss for School Board, and Frank Self for Lake Powell. That's all we have. We're missing some people here. I thought some other people were supposed to be running. I guess we will find out how that goes because they're not running. Or at least I don't see them in there yet. But that's how that goes. All right, let's go see if there's anybody else running over new here for the 2022 election. All right, going down Senator. I still really find this interesting because I'm still sitting here and I don't see Val Demings. And I don't see Marco Rubio. Like, why are they not showing there? Why are they not? Honestly, I don't know. It's kind of like always, yeah. All right. U.S. State Rep, District 1, we know Matt Gaetz. He actually, look at that primary. Matt Gaetz has won, not just 1, 2, 3, 4 different Republicans going against him. So do I have to, I'm going to stop sharing here and I'm just going to go do it random. I'm going to do Matt Gaetz human trafficking. I'm going to Google this real fast. And then just look at some things. All right, now I got it up. I can share this now. There you go. Matt Gaetz' ex-girlfriend testifies to grand jury in sex trafficking probe. There's one. So let's go see what else we have. There we go. Matt Gaetz, human trafficking. I know I spelled that wrong, but guess what? It'll pop back up as it always does. There's the sex trafficking allegations against him explained. He's under investigation over possible sex trafficking. Fundraising dips as sex trafficking investigation. 3 key people to watch. So we know this, right? We know this. We know that Matt Gaetz is under suspected human trafficking. Do we? I'll tell you. I mentioned this before, but I went over to a status on women over in Okaloosa last year, and women did not know he had pending human trafficking charges. That's a problem when we have a sitting congressman with pending human trafficking charges. Yeah, that's quite nuts. All right, let's go back. I wanted to make sure everybody knew about Matt Gaetz before we kept going here. So he's got lots of people running against him because running against him is what needs to happen. All right, Neil Dunn still has these two people. This person has a phone number. I tried to call, but nothing happened. Nobody answered. And then this person, I sent an email. So we're going to see, because I would like to know if either one of them are really running against Neil Dunn at this point, since they have their paperwork in. All right, let's go down to governor. Here we go, Ron DeSantis. Even Ron DeSantis has Republicans running against him. One Republican running against him. But look at all the Democrats. We knew that's coming. Nikki Fried, Charlie Crist. We know that. I think most people know, but if you don't, I'll say it out loud. I actually talked about it on the Brian Rush show. Not the Brian Rush show, the Veronica show. Veronica and, who was it at the time? About Charlie Crist being a flip-flopper. If you're not aware, Charlie Crist is the only politician in history to have run under every single political party and lost. Should he be our governor? That's the truth there. All right, transparency-wise, let's keep going. All right, Nikki Fried, we know Annette Tadeo's in there. Bunches of people are running. Attorney General, we have quite a few people running for that. Nobody's running against Ashley Moody yet, but we have Daniel Felder. He is over here in the Panhandle, actually. And then we have Aramis and Jim Lewis. They are running. Chief Financial Officer, we got some people running against our local Jimmy Patronis over here on the Democrat side, trying to get in there to run this. Commissioner of Agriculture, Ryan Morales is the lone Dem. Well, no, and J.R. Gillette. So we got 2 Dems and 3 Republicans running. And Wilton Simpson, we all should know he's already part of everything. We don't need him in there, but yes, how that goes. All right. As we go down, District 2, George Gaynor. We have George Gaynor. Let's see, how much campaign finance report? How much money does George Gaynor have? George Gaynor has $48,000. In his account. All right, George Gaynor. Let's go back. Let's see, Regina. Hey, Regina, thank you for running against him. You got some loans in there, but you've got monetary and loans. Thank you for running. Then we've got Carolyn Zonia, who is the Democrat running. Thank you, Carolyn, for running. Campaign finance activity. She has $5,000 in the bank because, well, yeah, Democrats don't get all the corporate money around here, right? We know that. All right, next up, let's go down here. Who is running for Jay Trumbull's spot? Brian Cloudis and Griff Griffiths. That has not changed. All right. This hasn't changed from the last time we were here because I got it at the beginning of the month, I believe. But Brian Cloudis, $59,000 in kind over $10,000. He's expended over $29,000. But as I mentioned last time, and I do want to say this out loud, I mentioned this last time. If you're going to run for something local, shouldn't you spend your money locally and make your stuff locally? I know I got my signs made locally. I didn't have t-shirts made, but I know I had my mailers made through a local company. I made sure that I supported my local economy with what I was buying, with my yard signs and everything, because it's important. Let's support Bay County. If you're running for something in Bay County, buy things in Bay County, please. It's not hard. All right. Let's go. Let's go back and let's see what we got over here. No, there we go. Over to Griffiths. Griffiths has a lot more, as we know. 269,000. That's just freaking ridiculousness. Absolutely no reason for that. But let's go see contributions real fast. Who gave money? We see this. You know, these are all checks. Refunds. Oh, we have refunds to people. That's interesting. Refunds are always fun. I wonder why that is. Let's go back. Let's go and let's look up expenditures. What is Griffith spending his money on? I haven't gone and pulled all his out yet, but let's see. Reimbursement, campaign shirts. Look at that. He paid himself for the campaign shirts. Where'd you get the campaign shirts made, Griffiths? What the heck? Why can't you tell us? Why don't you have it out there? That's craziness. All right, let's see what he spent the month before. And I'm going to go and pull all of this just like I did class. Let's see here. Signs and banners. Look at that. Oh yeah. We're spending money with local people. Thank you, Gagnon Sign Depot. Thank you for spending money locally and getting your stuff done. I really want to thank you for that, Griffiths, because our local people, our local politicians should get their stuff made locally. So thank you. I do want to appreciate that. So, wow. It has just been a busy, fast, goodness gracious, 46 minutes in, and we've been talking. So there is a lot going on this weekend. I think everybody knows it's coming up to a big weekend. And I want to say, I think I saw that Mosey's may be open in downtown, and that super is exciting. I do also know Thistle and Thorn. If you haven't gone in there for brunch yet, I have been there twice. Absolutely amazing place to go. There's the barbecue for the CAC this weekend is going on. There are many concerts. Oh my goodness. All the musicians are playing all over the place, and local musicians are amazing. So go out there and watch them and support our local musicians, because they really do help us with our economy. And well, supporting local, that's what we all should be doing, because it does matter to help our small businesses and our local people. And there's an artist mixture at the Cultural Hub also on Saturday. So that was a different one that I hadn't seen before. But I want to thank everybody for coming this evening and watching and being a part of this. I know that we may not always agree on how things need to be handled, but I want to be clear. Leading with kindness means, well, not being a bully. And not making fun of other people that don't look like you, act like you, or are you. Because it does matter how we treat other people. I have a lot of empathy. I have a lot of knowledge of what people have gone through. And I always try to put myself in other people's shoes. And I have a card that I have that it basically says, you don't know what another person's going through. Why do you want to judge somebody else? Be better than that. What is your value? My value is kindness, and activating kindness as a superpower for anybody who wants it. So this is going to be soon up on my website for free for anybody who wants it, or you can order one and grab one from me. I will be at Pride. But I want everybody to have a great evening. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for watching. And if you've got any questions, email me at cherieforpcb@gmail.com. You can go to my Facebook page. Now, I do want to be clear. Haters, people, if you're going to sit there and call me stupid and you're going to, well, I think the word bigot's been used a lot. Do we know what the word bigot really stands for? I'm not a bigot. Just because somebody says it's true doesn't mean it's true. Y'all have a good evening. And I will be back here in a couple weeks, and we will be on episode 20, and it's going to be fantastic. Stick around, because in 2 weeks, more information. Bye, y'all.